pays to be retired.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, there's
Yeah.
more. He's got all kinds on camera.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
a big
yeah,
one.
show us a bill sheet, 212.
Yeah. That's a big buck club.
So were you hunting with him?
No, he just sent me that picture yesterday.
That's a nice.
Where do you get that one? Downstate somewhere?
I do
That's
now.
downstate, right? Down in Medway?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
It's
It's about Chase, I think.
Oh, Chase.
I'm not saying that's where I have.
Yeah,
no
I know
idea.
he's down there,
Yeah.
that area, General Facility, I mean, somewhere.
Yeah, there's tons around home, they're all yearling, most of those.
Yeah. There's a lot of small ones. I mean, there's a lot of deer around, so it's kind of a good thing to see.
Is it 'cause of the wolf?
I don't, there's barely any around, I don't know.
Danielle, is everyone ready? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
Ron thinks it comes in phases, like he remembers
You're
the time
golden.
when there was all kinds of things, and then no deer. All kinds of things, or all kinds of deer. and then-
Do they feed on the same thing? Seems that the wolves get a little higher, huh?
Yeah, I think six, state.
Yeah, I think it's a lot.
Start? Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the November monthly meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Caribou Utilities District. We do have a quorum, so we can conduct official business. The first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the October 8th, 2025 monthly meeting. Anybody have any questions or comments?
Move to approve the minutes?
I second it.
Motion made and seconded. Any other discussion?
Good job, minutes.
Yeah, thank you. All in favor? Thank you. Financial reports, the budget and financial reports for the period ending October 2025. I'll turn that over to John and Sue, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure. So if we want to start with water, I think things are shaping up pretty well. Can just touch on a couple of the categories that are fairly over budget. Office supplies is 620.75. There's a few things that are still in that account that belong somewhere else, so Sue's working on moving those over, so that will fall back in line. And then moving down to 620.20, operations and maintenance of the treatment plant. The biggest expense on that is an overage of it was a $14,000 VFD that quit working. We had to replace it on short notice. Wasn't planned, but it's definitely a drive that we needed to run one of the pumps. So if you take the 14,000 out, it puts us closer to where we should be for this time of year.
And one of the big pump stations.
Right at the treatment plant.
Right at the plant.
Right at the water station. And then transmission and distribution, the next line item down. We had about 10,000 in pavement. So we had so many water leaks last winter that the pavement, we spent a lot more than we would like to or normally would spend. And then the other side of that is we had to buy a lot more replacement parts to cover all those leaks. And then we had the soft wash done on the tanks to get all the mold and mildew off.
Yeah, it looks a lot better from my
It
house.
does, it looks,
yeah.
they came out nice, didn't
Mhm.
they? Yeah. Yeah, I was surprised at how well they came out. You did a nice job. And then the last one we've gone over, but I'll just touch on it again, is the 632, the accounting services. At the beginning of the year, we didn't think we were going to need a single audit, and we ended up needing it, so that was not budgeted. And that's the difference on that item.
So I am assuming that when we develop a budget for the next, we'll have to, for that particular line item, just make sure we budget enough, or
Well,
is this
yeah.
just a one-off?
It's hard to tell. It seems like it's a one-off, but historically, I think it's been a one-off, but you never know which.
You never know, for
Yeah.
sure.
So I don't know. I don't want to budget everything high and thinking that there's going to be something and then not. So I don't know if
Yep.
it's, I'd almost rather just budget what I think it's going to be. And then if we have an overage, then we just explain it, and
Okay.
if that works with you. Because if not, most of these items, we could add, 25% to, and
Yep.
I don't think that's a very accurate budget. So.
Right.
So all that adds up to being a expenses running above straight line, I should say.
Yes,
We're
yep.
A little behind on revenue, a little above on expenses, so, on the water side anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we're 83% of the way through the year, and the total revenue is about 84, so we're pretty much on track.
Yeah.
But I agree with Dave's point, it is lagging behind what the actual expenses are. Any questions on the water side?
Excuse me, John, you
Yes.
might also mention about our debt service
Oh, yeah.
because of the jet truck that we weren't expecting to have
Yeah,
for the year.
when we knew the jet truck wasn't coming in until fall, we assumed that the first payment wouldn't be due until next year. That's the way it typically works, but in that fear of losing the federal dollars, they prepaid us for the loan before the truck came in, which started the clock ticking on the payment, so that we made the first payment already this year that we weren't anticipating.
And where'd that show up?
It is this third line up from the bottom under principal payments, long-term
Okay.
debt.
600.10,
Okay.
Dave.
Yeah,
So that would be the overage.
that's the overage, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And are we, long-term debt payments, are we done for the year?
For the water, we are.
For the water?
We have one large one for Grimes for wastewater, but that isn't due until December.
Until
December.
December, thank you.
And the jet truck will show up on the capital at some point.
I believe it.
Yeah, I think it is on
I
there.
believe it's
Yeah.
already on.
Actually, let me look. It might be on, just on the water one. Definitely should be on there.
Must be on the waste. No, I
It
guess
it is not on there. Okay. Yeah, I'll add it to the water one. Sorry about that.
because we didn't have we didn't have September. I'm wondering if you cut a column off.
Hmm.
And the way that will be set up, it will be split between the water and the wastewater.
And can you, and I hate to ask, refresh my memory on, it would be after the department for the wastewater, there's account
The third page.
13602, the third page?
Third page on wastewater?
Yeah.
Yes. It's account February, April,
Uh-oh.
June, August.
Oh, yeah. What we're looking at, is it,
Yep, it would be this one.
Yep.
oh, on the water side,
Yes.
sorry.
So the reserves.
So that's the capital reserve accounts for the water side.
Okay.
And that's as of the end of each of those months. That's what there was for a balance in each of those.
Ours does not, there's nothing on what it is.
Oh, no, did it cut it off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yep. Yeah, I printed mine and,
Okay, yep.
Yeah,
No,
okay.
no, makes sense.
Now we're-
Okay,
yes,
okay,
yeah,
sorry.
so
Yeah,
I didn't-
so just a bunch of random
Yes.
numbers.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'll resend that to you tomorrow. If you'd like to look at my copy here, you can.
I,
We have-
I could tell you, if you just give me a one moment.
Yeah. So the biggest drop is the last, do you have the account numbers as well? Like 136?
We
Yeah,
have the
like-
account numbers.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's the jet truck. So June and August, we had that advance payment in the bank account, sitting there waiting for the truck invoice to come in. So that's why we went from the 1.1 million in reserves down to 600,000.
Yep.
Because really that was just, it was loaned money to us before it went to
Mhm.
pay for the truck, so.
What are you gonna do with the $25?
I'm not sure.
Should have bought coffee for
Should
them.
we do that next time, yeah.
In order to keep an account active, I had to have a little money in.
Oh,
So
okay.
that is the designated project account. So that's when all the funds from main bond will be transferred to that account. And that's why the $25 is here. But I could give you a breakdown if you would like of the different accounts.
That's okay, just a quick, it kind of, the question was in my mind, the $25, but you can add to that. It's not dedicated just to the
No,
jet truck.
No, that is just strictly water projects. And it's set aside at Guitardin, and in order to keep it active, I had to have money in the account.
Okay,
So that when, when our new loan is approved for the river crossing, all money will go into that account
Okay.
when Main Bond submits their payments to us for requisitions.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Did it cut it off on the wastewater one as well?
I think so.
Yep.
I'm sorry about that. I'm not sure what happened, but obviously I did something wrong.
Well, yours is landscaped and ours isn't.
Yeah, so I don't, yeah. Must have been the way I saved it when I. Is there any other questions on, I think wastewater was pretty straightforward. 60310, the operations, maintenance, pumping. The biggest overage on that was the portable generator. We had to do a lot of work to it to get it running early on in the year. It's working great now, but there was a unexpected expense that came in.
Question?
Yes?
Seems we're doing really well in the wastewater, and we're gonna be a little over on the water. Can we just transfer money, or is there
I
something?
would love to, but we can't with the PUC. It's two separate businesses, so, yeah. Water is struggling a little bit, but the good news is we have one big debt service payment left for next
For
year.
April, the well project will be paid off in April. That was 1.8, I believe.
Do you have what that payment is on?
Yes, I don't have it in front of me,
Yeah, I
but,
need-
excuse me, it'll be roughly 115,000.
A year, so that'll
So
make,
that will,
of course, we'll be rolling in, with any luck, we'll be rolling in a redundant river crossing
I'll say, yeah,
loan
that's gonna
to
be
cover
there.
some of it, so.
Mhm.
30 years already, huh?
Wow.
goes fast.
I think that must have been a 20-year, no.
It was
20 or
20, it
26,
was
or,
20, I
yeah,
believe, yeah. I haven't got the
25, somewhere
papers in
there.
front of me.
Yeah.
And once those projects are paid off, I continue to put funds into the account monthly. And that's where we'll get our extra reserve for operating or for capital items.
So I don't know if it's an appropriate time to ask, but under the water department, I mean, it seems like the overages really go back to kind of improvements or problems, I guess is maybe not the right way of saying it.
No, yeah.
And again, should we be, I don't know how to ask this, but should we be kind of thinking about these longer term, or, I mean, is something aging that, well, this is coming down the road that we really need to be worried about?
We definitely can. The project that we did this year was kind of I would call it preventative maintenance. It wasn't a failure that caused us to have to do an upgrade. Like, we did the upgrade knowing that a failure was probably going to come sooner rather than later, so we got ahead of it, and I think that's the way we'd love to operate, is try to be more proactive and not reactive when it comes to repairing stuff. But yeah, we can, I can, like, the guys usually are very vocal about what needs to be done and give me a heads up, so I'll ask them again to see what kind of, like, give us 5 or 6, major items that should be done.
We had a lot of surprise items though this year as
Yeah.
well that
Yeah,
Aren't
we had-
surprises
Definitely.
always fun? Yeah.
definitely weren't looking for.
yeah, we paved 2/3 of the streets in town this year too.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a big job.
Is there anything else on, any other questions or comments on water or wastewater financials? I'd accept a motion to approve the reports.
I'll move to accept the financial statement for October.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor? Motion passes. I'll again turn it over to John for the multi-department, the water department and the wastewater department updates.
Yeah, sure. So, as for multi-department, there wasn't really anything to report this month. The individual departments, though, there was a fair amount of activity. The full application to NBRC was successfully submitted, which is good to get that in queue. I put in here that it was, award coming for the next few weeks. I double-checked their website today. Their website says for a timetable of December of notification, so it may come earlier, but if not, it'll probably be sometime in December. And then there's a kickoff meeting in January, so it's a fairly quick turnaround after an award is made. We touched on it last time, but the drinking water program, the sanitary survey did come in. Everything looks great. The only thing that was a slight deficiency was that the North Main low-pressure tank needs to be inspected on the inside. The other tanks were all done. That one was, I think it was admitted as part of the upgrade. They couldn't quite coordinate a time to get it done when they were bypassing some of the tanks when they were doing the work to the booster stations. So that's easy. We'll get that scheduled for next summer. We have until the fall of 2023 to show proof that it's been done. It's a minor. It's not a major issue. It's just a step above a recommendation. So it's nothing to be alarmed about. One good thing is we have really high quality water, so there's not a lot of sediment. Some districts get a lot of sediment build up in their tanks, so they want to make sure that that's getting removed, so they have these inspection programs to take care of that, but luckily we don't have to deal with that here, which is wonderful. And then we kind of touched on it, but Northern Soft Wash did the North Main High and North Main Low tank cleaning on the exterior. Get rid of all the mold and mildew and lichen and stuff that was starting to grow, and I think they both came out really well, and it's a good improvement to those exterior of those two tanks. And the biggest project of the month was the PLC and SCADA upgrade. Everything went great. The contractor and subcontractor were excellent. They had a lot of work prepped before they showed up on site, so it was a matter of, the PLC and the SCADA was all programmed off-site. So when they came in, they literally just had to switch stuff over and run through troubleshooting. So we did the bulk of, I say we, I was there, but it wasn't me. The contractor and the subcontractor, it was within 12 hours they had they had it up and running.
Nice.
And then prepping for it, Derek and Fred did a great job. We did all the piping of the new chemical feed pumps and the instrumentation piping for the new devices all in-house, so we didn't have to hire a contractor to do it.
That's good.
So that saved the district a lot of money to have that done. Our guys are more than capable of doing it.
That brings something to mind, if you don't mind my
Yeah.
saying now, is we talked about fluoridation. If we can put that on the agenda at some point to revisit that.
Sure, yeah.
And I wanted to thank you for keeping us informed of what was going on. It was nice to, just in case.
We always hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. So I wanted to at least let you know that, things went great. They could have gone terrible, but they didn't. So I just wanted to, I'd like to keep you somewhat in the loop on big issues like that. And then the last thing that the guys accomplished was to get all the water mains flushed, which was a big undertaking. It happened later in the year than we would like, so it's kind of cold towards the end for them, but everything's flushed out, the hydrants are all pumped, and we're ready for another winter.
Another thing while I think of it, when I was in Bangor, maybe early this year, or it might have been last year, they had a device there that they hooked on their hose when they were doing the flushing, hydrant flushing. It really dissipated the flow of the water.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it to one of the crew people, and yeah, we know about that, and that was the end of it. That's all. I guess I got the idea they didn't think it was very useful. But
I think was it like the kind that hooks onto like a hitch?
Yeah, it was a little cart or something.
Yeah.
And it had some kind of a baffle in there that slowed the flow down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that's more important in Bangor.
Maybe, where things are a little bit tighter. Yeah. Is there any questions on anything water related? Okay. So moving on to wastewater. After a lot of back and forth, I did get a chance to meet with Aroostook Emergency Management and Maine Emergency Management in regards to the FEMA application for the generator. I guess there's been a long-standing rule about quasi-municipal entities that didn't participate in the hazardous mitigation study or should be excluded from grant opportunities. But historically, they have funded them, and they planned on doing it this time. There was 8 in the state of Maine that are kind of at the final step, where FEMA said no, we don't want to do this, and there was enough pushback from the state of Maine that they've agreed to let these 8 be like the last 8 through the program. So they had a guidance document that basically said that CUD accepts everything that's in the Aroostook County management plan, hazardous management plan, and that will participate in future plans. And there's a lot of other information that was in there. So it was like about 7 pages worth of info in the letter. We're the guinea pig. We're the first one of the 8 to push the issue to get the application back to FEMA. So hopefully it goes well.
Yeah.
But I don't know when that day is going to come when it's, it got sent to FEMA, but it's obviously not going to get looked at right now. There's going to be, 30 plus days of backlog. So I'm not hopeful that the award's going to come anytime soon if it does come, but I'm happy that MEMA stepped up to the plate and fought for these 8 districts that have made it through the process, and we're going to get eliminated kind of at the last second. So I'm happy that worked out.
That hazard mitigation plan sounds familiar, but I don't know. That came up a while back, didn't it?
Yeah, I think the last, 2021 was our last update, and basically it's just a plan of like major hazards in Aroostook County. So there's like flooding and storms and ice storms that like
Power
potential
outages.
yeah, power outages, the potential threats in the area. So
Yep.
all of those affect us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
So I think Caribou participates, but certainly not the utilities district.
Correct, and that's
you're
what I
not-
put in the application too, that
Right.
as a quasi-municipal entity, but CUD is definitely in line with what the city is, what the thoughts are of the city, and it's the same customer base, it's the same geographic area, it's really the same.
We're the same, you know, we're
Yeah.
appointed by the council.
Right, yeah. Yeah. And it's not, it wasn't just us, at the bottom of the memo, it listed the 8 of them. It was several utilities districts throughout the state that were all eliminated, or potentially eliminated. That kind of dovetails next into the next, that generator is in pretty dire straits. I'm worried that it's not gonna hold out if we have to run it for an extended length of time.
So you're finding this out from was it a monthly run-up or something?
It is, yeah,
Yeah.
the monthly run-up, and then we had the annual inspection from the third party that comes in and checks it. And prior to him coming, it was starting to blow oil out of the top onto the manifolds. And I'm concerned that, you know, on a 15-minute run, that's fine, but if it has to run for 15 hours, it's gonna get hot, it's gonna continue to spew oil. So that's my fear, that there's gonna be a failure or a fire.
And that's a size unit that wouldn't be readily available locally. It would have to come from away if we had to do a temporary.
I guess there's a few of them in the area that they can get, but my fear is that if we're all out of power, who's gonna get the couple generators that are available? And we looked at a rental, and it was 10,000 plus a month for a rental to sit at our facility. It doesn't make sense to.
No.
I mean, there is an opportunity that we could get one maybe from another district in southern Maine, part of like the collaborative, like the Maine Warren Network, where we can share resources from other districts.
It's likely it's going to be an event that's going to affect everybody close by.
Right, yeah, yeah. So my fear is that if something terrible happens to that generator, and we need to order one quickly, we gotta have the money somewhere to buy it. That's when Sue had reached out to Katahdin about kind of like a special line of credit to get us by until we find another funding source or get help from DEP or somebody.
Can we at least source the unit and whoever we would need to hook it up to have them kind of on standby?
Like in advance, or
Yeah, to kind of.
like they had one just recently that they could have had it here within a week. A new one.
Kind of money we talking then?
I don't recall. I don't recall.
I think it was roughly in the
Yeah, it was
200,000 range.
just-
because
yeah.
That's the amount that we spoke
Yeah.
from Katahdin.
Yeah, I think
Concerning.
I want to say it was like 180 or something to buy it.
So what happens if we're out of power for a week over there?
That generator in its prime would have run for a week. We just kept
No,
just
no,
kept
no,
feeding
no,
it
no, but I
diesel.
mean, you're saying
Yeah.
it would take, the soonest you think you could get a replacement would be a week. So what
Oh, yeah.
happens during that week?
That's
That's the
That's-
problem.
that's the problem, yeah.
That's the
what
problem.
I lay in bed and worry about it.
I mean,
is
we
the
dumping
like that.
stuff into the river? Is that what happens, or?
We Potentially, yes, depending on the flow. If the flow is low enough, we could probably pump around it with our large Godwin pump.
But that's what
but if
pumps
that's in
out of
a
the
s-
wet well up into the lagoons, right?
It could, yeah. We have the piping to get there.
Yeah.
And we could manage that flow most of the year, but during like spring runoff when the flows are very high, we probably couldn't take it all.
If we went ahead and did this project, I doubt FEMA would come back and backfill it, would they?
They will not, no.
No.
They won't even let us do the RFQ for engineering ahead of time when it's not monetary, it's an RFQ. Well, you can't do any work on the project ahead of their award letter.
So we have to decide, how much risk do we want to take?
Well, I mean, your recommendation is to set up a line of credit, not
we-
necessarily to purchase.
Correct, yeah, just to have it in place, so that would save us one more step. So if I call you all like like we need to order a generator today, the financing part is in place. We'd still have to have a vote to purchase, and I would have to explain to you why today's the day to purchase it, and then you'd have to agree to that. So it's just a motion to accept the line of credit, not the purchase of a generator.
And you'd have to do some workarounds while we got it delivered and installed.
Correct.
What about the generator on the trailer? Is that not big enough?
It's not big enough,
Not
no.
big enough to handle it.
Yeah, no.
Do you know what the other, I guess, the status of like the other utilities districts? I mean, are their generators far better, do you know, or?
I don't know.
It's not a
Yeah,
fair
no.
question, but.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yep. And a line of credit does not cost the district anything?
Nope.
Well, that's a start, I guess.
I do know, I can guess that there's a local district that probably has a generator that's problematic because they're one of the 8 on the list. So.
Yep.
So we're not the only one in the county.
You want that motion now?
Sure.
This is for the 3 or 4 page thing from Craig Staples?
Yes, correct. Yep.
Now, dear David, is that me?
That would be you.
Yeah, he came over and I signed papers on the back of his pickup there.
Yeah.
So should I make the motion as the treasurer, or is that appropriate?
I think it's fine.
Yes.
I'll move that we set up this line of credit as presented.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Yep.
Passed.
And Dave, also before you leave, I have a document for you to sign as treasurer for that as well, please.
Thank you. And then the last thing under wastewater is that the crew also finished flushing out all the wastewater lines. It was in progress last month. It's now been completed. That's another case where it's cold this time of year doing that kind of work, but they kind of toughed it out and got through it. They knew that it was important to be done, so.
Well, they need to toughen up for a line break, so it's
I
not
know.
gonna be any warmer.
Yep, true.
So we don't need a motion to accept the multi-department water department and wastewater, or do we?
No,
Okay.
it's just more for info only,
Yep.
yep.
Yep, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments on those 3 reports? Thank you. Other business, signing of water and sewer liens.
Dave has already taken care of that, Jay. so
Okay.
Cross that off.
I have questions on that. I mean, I've signed a lot of liens, 34 this month, and I only remember signing, I can count on one hand, lien discharges. So what's our success rate, and what's the next step, or do we ever go to the next step?
Oh, hopefully, what happens a lot of the times, that the property is sold, and that way we can recoup all of our money and discharge the liens. But some of those will be on there indefinitely.
No, you don't send, once you send a lien out, that's an enforce, you don't have to, I'm not signing repeat liens, am I? Or am I?
No, well, yes, you would be, Dave.
You could be for different, for another,
different
for another
amounts.
past due bill.
Once
A
the
different view.
Yeah.
So we don't necessarily have hundreds of people that are,
repeats, we have a lot of repeats, is
Okay.
what you're having, yeah.
all right, that helps.
And also, Dave, I believe you had signed the 30-day demand letters. That's the first step that you would sign. So you would sign, say, 30 or 40 of those a month or 2 months ago. And now we're into the lien process, and those that you signed yesterday or Monday
Good.
are the actual liens.
So it's a two-part process to accomplish the lien.
So when the liens are discharged, is there paperwork that needs to be signed? I mean, or,
For the discharge, yes.
Yep.
Because it'll either be a regular discharge, or sometimes there's a quick claim where they might have 3 or 4 liens in different periods that they've had. And once it would be paid in full, there would be a quick claim. It would be called.
Any, nope, sorry, go ahead.
I guess the quickest way to get paid would be to foreclose on the property. But
Yes,
it's
it
harder
would
to do in Maine now. Actually, it might be nationally, but I know definitely in Maine that there was a law change.
Well, is this the new deal where you do all the work and then you send them the money?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We take our
Yeah.
$100 and we
Yeah.
sell their house for them and give them all the profit back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, yep.
Yeah.
We should work on changing that.
I'm biting my tongue.
We should,
Yep.
I'd like to see us as an entity say, we don't like that law. I'd like to be,
Yeah, we're not the only ones, yeah. it's-
yeah.
That was insane.
Well, I mean, maybe,
The city runs into it as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, yeah, the city,
yeah.
yeah, they have scats.
Maybe municipal pushback, you mean?
Mm.
So related to billing, are we making progress on the bi-monthly billing?
Sue and I were talking about it today.
Discussed it today.
My biggest fear right now is that money's getting tight, and if we're stretching out customers' bills over a couple months, we're already having a hard time collecting from some. I think that the mindset of, you're getting the bill every month and you pay the bill helps some people pay. Whereas they're like, oh, did I pay that this month, or is that coming this month, or is this the month I have off, and I don't have it, I'll wait. And then we're 3 months out. I'm fearful that right now,
well, when I get my electric bill now, I'm thinking, are we back on paying every 2 months?
right, yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
You're
awful.
right.
Yeah.
You're
And
right.
it definitely would
Yeah.
affect our cash flow. And we found that out when we were billing on the quarterly.
Yeah.
The cash flow was the main
So you
item.
recommended we just stick with what we
Well-
really are now?
I think for now, and kind of Sue brought to my attention more, the cash flow could be the biggest issue that, like,
Yeah.
um,
Well, that's kind of why we did it in the first place.
right, yeah.
So I thought initially we were talking about trying to cut our costs for the billing, right? And
Right,
that's why
yeah.
we were thinking of,
Yeah,
I mean, are there opportunities to cut our costs?
there might be a little bit, but I think the labor that we're gonna lose, if we bring it back in-house, we're gonna have to be printing and stuffing, like 1,800
Right,
plus.
1,900 for
envelopes
the last 1950.
every month. And
The cost of postage is the main
Do we
thing right now.
have to do that? Is that like by law to hand out a paper? Or we
you
just go
can
electronic?
email, but there's still not a lot that will do the electronic.
Would it be worth our while to, like my cable, if I go paperless, and pay online, I get a reduced rate.
Yeah.
Is that something we should, to entice people to do it online, or, I don't know if it's something we'd want to consider?
Yeah, I don't know how that would work with the PUC
I don't
on,
know.
on giving a different rate.
I
So
don't
you'd be
think,
given a different
I
rate.
really don't think it would go with PUC, where they govern everything that we do. That was my.
But does the power
only thing
company
about
give a
that.
discount?
No.
No, no,
Yeah, they don't
my
give-
cable,
yeah, they don't
my
give any
cable
discounts.
bill or my
Okay.
cell phone bill,
Yeah.
you can get discount,
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah, the PUC should be
It goes up.
concentrating.
You ask a
on-
question, it goes up.
Yeah, the PUC should be concentrating on our electric bill
Yeah.
and leave us alone.
Yeah.
Right.
I will point out, though, when we were doing it in-house, we had a bulk mail right through the post office. And at the very end of it, in fact, that's one of the reasons we went with outsourcing, someone complained about our bills because they were going at a reduced rate with the bulk rate, and it actually was a bill for money, and this is something that's not allowed to pass through bulk mailing. It has to go through first-class mail.
Bulk mailing is only for like junk mail. It's every single
Yeah,
copy that
so
goes
they-
out is the same, whereas a bill, each one is different. So that's not bulk mailing. That's a first class mailing.
Because we had used the bulk for years, but someone in the post office, I mean, they got a little antsy. But anyway, that's one of the reasons that we did change. But right now, even with the reduced rate that we are allowed with our Pitney Bowes postage meter, we pay 74 cents a letter. So based on a month's bill, it would be $1,440 just for the postage. And we're paying our outsourcing right now $1,800 a month for what they do.
They
They,
print the bill, they stuff the bill, they provide the paper, the envelope, the return envelope, and the postage
postage
for that price.
And the postage.
and everything, yeah.
See,
Well,
they work on volume, so they have they
Seems
get
like-
they get a different rate because they do this kind of stuff and they mail a lot of junk mail. So they have a
Right now, their postage rate is 59.5 cents for our outsourcing, where we would be paying 74 cents for each item.
Well, it's still a good value then.
Wow.
and that was kind of the other driver for the how much we're saving.
$370 a month we
For
would
us to stuff
save,
1,800 envelopes.
which would take sometimes 2 to 3 days. I mean, to do it in the office, number one, they all would have to go through the folding machine and then stuffed in and sealed. So,
Yep. Okay.
So we discussed the Katahdin Trust, right? We don't need to
Correct,
do
yeah.
anything there?
Yep.
Are there, I know we have one other item, but are there any additional items not covered there?
The solar panels, did we find out like what lease that they have on the land or what we're getting from it?
Yeah, there's so the way it was set up, there was no lease because we're taking all the power. So basically, they would have just lowered the allowance to the district to offset the lease. So they said that only usually works, and I confirmed it with some other districts too. If the panels produce more than the district takes, and then that company's selling it off to a third party,
Mhm.
you'd want a lease agreement on it.
Okay.
On that note, they are interested in already, and they want to look at extending the lease out longer. I think it's already a
25 years.
25 here, and we're only 5 years in or so. I said,
19, yeah.
I'd be interested to see what you have to say. I'm not going to say yes or no, but so they're supposed to put a proposal together of what it might look like.
Yeah, because I like to see what it's generating and what we're getting out of it, I guess.
Yeah, short of pulling every bill every month and calculating it, there's really
Yeah.
no, it's kind of like a hidden savings. It's not blatantly obvious what the savings is.
Mhm.
Oh, it's-
So we don't really know how much that field is producing, do we?
We know what it's, yeah, we do
We
know
do.
what it's producing, but then they turn that into a credit on the bill, and it's, you see the credit on the bill, but you have to look at each kilowatt for each account for the month and what the standard rate is.
Okay.
And some of those bigger meters are not an annual rate change, they're changed monthly. So I'd have to go into the PUC and find the rates. It can be done, it'd be a lot to track. It's something I can work on.
Okay.
I'm curious too, because I don't,
It'd just
I'm
be nice
seeing
to
what
know
we're
what we're
paying, it
seeing
still
or
seems like
we're
we're paying
getting,
a lot of
what we're
money,
supposed
yeah.
to get out of it, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
If it's not working correctly, you know?
right, and exactly,
So-
yeah.
Be nice to know. On a month to month.
Yeah,
what's
and I
going
don't
on.
know, what the design capacity of that is, if it's,
Mhm.
if they got a bunch of broken panels and it's underproducing,
Yeah.
we're really the only ones that are not benefiting from it. I'm assuming they have an upside too, so I think they would repair it, but I just don't, I don't understand it enough to,
Yeah.
They don't make it easy, because I'm signed up with solar. And trying to figure out, that's something the PUC should work on, so that you can see. I mean, you get a bill from Versant, the next month, you don't get one, you get it from the solar, and then you don't know where you're at.
Well, that's
paying
why
two people.
it's been brought up several times,
Who's that?
how we
Oh, I said
can
just paying two
explain it.
people.
I-
now.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
One person.
yeah.
Yeah, but,
Yeah, we got a call
Yeah.
this tonight trying to sign us up.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because the credit will appear on the Versant bill, but then every quarter, we get our bill from Caribou Solar for the actual, what is the power that was, the actual usage
Yeah, with the,
of the total solar.
well, they told me that I've saved $140, and I've reduced 7,000 tons of CO2 and 54 trees planted it's worth, so. All right, so do I trust you? Yeah, I don't know. I know my bills are high.
I agree, Kate. There's no, because I've wanted to know what the answer is for years, but I never been able to find out.
Are there any other items? I know Dave would like to go into executive session for personnel matters.
Personnel matters, yeah.
Yep. And I'm not sure how I have to do that motion, or would accept a motion.
They're listed for the city council.
Yeah, right
Oh,
here.
okay.
It's pursuant to 1 MRSA, paragraph 405, subparagraph 6A.
Personnel matters.
Personnel matters.
Yeah, I have, I do have it.
Do we have a second?
Second, I guess.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, who made the motion?
Dave, it's seconded by
Bellier
Matt.
and,
Yeah, I second it.
okay.
All in favor?